When I say I am an American immigrant, what comes to mind? Was I what you expected? My name is Heda, and I'm a first-generation American immigrant from Sweden, and a NexGen member here at Montgomery Community Media. I moved to America on August 3rd, 2014. I was 5 years old, almost 6, and I enrolled in first grade. I got the hang of English pretty quickly through ESOL classes and peer exposure, so I had even lost the accent by 5th grade. We came here first on a work visa, transitioning to a green card in 2017, and my family got our citizenship at the end of 2023. It was a pretty lengthy process, taking almost 10 years to get an American passport. Even with this wavering status, I never experienced any of the discrimination about illegals that I kept hearing about. This is Beyond Borders. Let's redefine the American identity, a YouthTalks podcast. Almost 40% of Montgomery County is foreign-born, and 43% of the county speaks a language other than English at home. As residents of the United States, immigration surrounds us. Our panelists today are Julia and Hana, immigrants from Mexico and Japan, respectively. Immigration is never one-size-fits-all for many in Montgomery County, as our MCM reporter, Miriam Shahzad, found out when she sat down with County Council member Fanny Gonzalez.
The new presidential administration has been in power for not even 2 months. In this brief time, federal policies have been upended, including immigration policies, spreading concern throughout communities, including Montgomery County.
One of the big concerns with this is immigrant children. Yes. And I think people have this, this image in their mind of ICE agents going to schools, where children are. And I mean, is that something that's happening here? Is that something that can happen?
No. The great thing about Montgomery County is that the Montgomery County Public School System, they have a protocol. And this is like putting aside ICE. Anybody that goes to a Montgomery County Public School System, a school, they need to say why they're there. And even if they're from a government agency, they need to provide the reason, okay? It's not like they walk into a school and they perform a raid. It doesn't work that way. So if anyone from ICE decides to stop by a school, the school will immediately call the central staff from the MCPS and have a lawyer come to the school. But honestly, my conversations that I have had with law enforcement, including ICE, that is not a practice that is happening or is going to happen in Montgomery County. At the end of the day, we're talking about human beings who live and work in this community, who are your neighbors. I have several neighbors on my street. I live in Wheaton who work for the government, and everybody is scared because once your lifestyle gets disrupted, all of a sudden you get scared. But at the same time, I want to remind folks that yes, we're dealing with this situation, but there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
I'm speaking to my guest today on how nationality, race, and bias affect the immigrant experience. Before we get into our reactions of the video, Julia, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Juliana. I go to Bethesda-Chevy Chase High School.
What about you, Hana?
I'm Hana. I also go to BCC High School.
Awesome. So, Julia, have you ever been afraid of ICE coming into your school?
Honestly, up until really pretty recent, like this year, that had never even been a thought that had crossed my mind. It just never was something I had thought about. But I think more recently, it's been, I wouldn't say that I've feared it, but I've definitely thought about what would happen.
Mm-hmm. I think the video really helped give me some clarity on the fact that Montgomery County wants to help us, I guess. So do you guys want to talk about your experiences as an immigrant and how that's been shaped by your specific race or ethnicity? Julia?
Well, I moved when I was 14 months old, mm-hmm. So all I've ever known is living here. And I see myself as an immigrant, but I know a lot of people who see me as just an American and don't necessarily see the fact that I'm an immigrant. Mm-hmm. And then there's people who only see that I'm an immigrant.
Yeah, for sure. I also moved here super young, so I also definitely recognize that I'm not like super European, I guess. Have you ever experienced discrimination because of your nationality? Hana, feel free to jump in.
Yeah, I felt bad when my classmates laughed at me and like said Asian greeting. I really happy to tell them my language, but when they make fun of me, then I really don't want to tell them my like greeting. I'm Japanese and I don't feel I want to tell them my like Japanese greeting.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. What about you, Julia, as a Mexican immigrant?
I think that I wouldn't say I've necessarily like experienced it, but I definitely felt times where I've like walked into a room and just felt that shift, like that people notice that you're different from them, if you know what I mean.
Well, I don't, but that's kind of our point here. We can clearly see that you guys are different and, like immigrants, like, so even though I am just as much of an immigrant as you two, I have never felt that way walking into a room. People just assume I'm an everyday American. So what do you believe is the media or the government's role in forming like public perception of immigrant groups? Like as we've seen recently with the new administration, there's been a lot of hate pushed and different ideas. So what's your opinion?
I think a lot of what we hear nowadays on the media or just like from the government, it's a lot of wanting to push fear and wanting to push people to like feel afraid when they should be trying to push like order and making people feel like safe and more like there should be more focus on like the good rather than just like all the bad that we're hearing in the media nowadays.
I agree.
Yeah, like media's role is to like monitor government and see the society closer and like trying to make more discussion in the society. So I think there should be more opinion about immigrants, whether I don't care whether it's good about or bad about, like bad opinion about immigration or good opinion about immigration, but there should be many opinion.
You think there should be more discourse around the whole issue? Yeah. I think like podcasts like this, like community-based discussions are super important in, shaping the larger public's opinion. Do you guys feel American? I know I have a lot of thoughts about this, so I want to get your opinions as well.
I would say that that's a really difficult question because actually just last semester I wrote like a 10-page essay on where the prompt was literally like, what is your American story and do you feel American? And as I was writing it, I realized that I don't know that I've ever thought of myself as an American, but I've also haven't thought of myself as like just an immigrant. I kind of feel like I'm somewhere in between because I've lived my entire life here, but at the same time I'm not really an American by like what some people would perceive being an American as.
Do you have your citizenship?
I do.
Okay. I know that's a big, like legally, you are an American now, I guess. But yeah, I agree. I mean, I definitely think there are some aspects of like culture and things that I can't access as an immigrant or as a Swedish person, while I know that I have assimilated pretty well. We both are speaking English, like we're all here in America, so there's a lot about that. What about you, Hana?
Well, language barrier is really big problem for me, and I know that I will go back to Japan in a few months, so I'm learning English as a Japanese person. So I'm not trying to be American, and I've never felt I'm American, but I really enjoy like American events like Christmas or Thanksgiving, but I just enjoying it as like new event for me. I always like it's not like Japanese events. Like I enjoy my Japanese events as one of my like life, like
Yeah, take your time.
Yeah, but I enjoy American events, but not as my.
Not as your identity.
Yeah,
It's like you're experiencing it from an outside perspective.
yeah.
Sure. When did you move here?
1-2 years ago.
Okay, so you're very recent.
Yeah.
But you do like American high school,
I like
everything.
I like it.
Yeah. Why do you want to go back? Like, is there?
Oh, it's because I wanna go to Japanese university, so that's why I go.
Sure. Yeah. Do you still have family there and everything?
What?
Do you still have family there in Japan?
Oh, my parents came here with me, but my other my grandfather, my grandma are all in Japan.
Awesome. Yeah. My family is also all in Sweden. It's just me and my parents here.
Same.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Yeah. I know you went back to Mexico recently on vacation. Do you want to talk a little bit about how that felt, experiencing it?
It felt really good because when I was younger, we used to go every summer, but recently we've just been trying to go to other places, so we haven't had as much time. So it was really nice to be able to go back home and connect with my family and just my culture in a deeper way than I can when I'm here.
I go back to Sweden every summer. It is seriously my favorite place. Where in Mexico did you go?
Well, we went to Mexico City because that's where all of my family is. And then we also went to the beach just for a little bit. We just went to Cancun.
Nice.
For a week, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So how do you maintain your cultural identity while still trying to fit in? Like music, food, your language, if you still speak it?
Well, at home, all I speak is Spanish, and I have a couple friends that are also just from Spanish-speaking countries. So even though we're not all the same, it's nice to get to meet up with them and talk in my language. You know what I mean? And I think also I'm in LSU, which is the Latino Student Union at my school. So I think that's definitely helped a lot because I'm surrounding myself by people who have similar experiences to me.
For sure. I think student groups like that are super important, and I know I get very excited whenever I see a Swedish person out in the wild. I hear the language ever. It's because especially since it's rare to meet a Swedish person, my whole family is immediately flocking to them, trying to get that sense of Swedishness and that culture back here.
Well, my mom always make me Japanese food, so I always eat. I eat Japanese food every day.
That's true.
Yeah, I use chopsticks, and I think chopsticks make me feel comfortable.
Sure, yeah.
I always bring chopstick, even though I eat American food. It's much easier.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you guys have your a favorite food from your culture that you guys know?
Sushi?
Sushi? Yeah, okay.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like sushi.
Yeah, I would have to say mine's probably tacos, but it has to be street tacos, not from a restaurant because they just feel different. They don't feel like a real connection.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, there's IKEA here for me, but there's IKEA here for me, so we have meatballs, and especially the desserts are so good because I never get to have those. Because I never get to have those in my everyday life anymore. But going back, that's probably my favorite part of going back is just eating the Swedish food again.
Oh, do you guys know that? Do you know Californian roll, right?
Oh yeah.
There's seaweed inside and rice are
Around it.
But real rice rolling is not that kind of things. There should be seaweed should be in outside.
Oh.
Yeah. So when I first came here, it was really weird experience for me.
They're trying, but it's not. It's not the same.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, here we also have there's imitations, especially if you guys were recently, Swedish candy was a huge thing.
Yeah, I saw that.
Exactly, it was a huge TikTok trend, and we recently I was just at a tournament this weekend, and there was this Swedish candy shop, and we were like, oh, perfect, finally we get to see some real Swedish, But we walk in there, we're speaking Swedish, no one there speaks Swedish, and we take some candy, and it's all the new TikTok candy that's come out, none of the the original real stuff, and we try it and it's all like old and stale. So I think there's so many instances where America like tries to replicate these other cultures and just, it doesn't work. It's not the same as when you're home, you know? So, you know, do you guys consider like Mexico or Japan like your home? I know it's probably different for each of you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Japan is my home country. I always feel comfortable when I go to like Japanese community.
Yeah.
I would say like that's kind of like a complicated question because in my head I would consider like the U.S. my home just because I've lived my entire life here. That's all I know. But at the same time, I feel like in my heart I feel more connected to Mexico than I do to the U.S.
Yeah, I think it definitely has to do with like family connections and like deeper roots. You know, we always talk about like family trees in school. So do you guys think that American society allows for these multi-ethnic identities? Like, have you guys felt pressure to assimilate?
Well, especially in Montgomery County, they always tolerant to like multi-ethnic groups because like school taught me like you have to respect others. Diversity is important, so I really feel comfortable to like express my identity.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. I've always felt, I think just being in such like a diverse like community that we are, like that we have here, I've never really felt like I had to assimilate, but I felt like I wanted to.
For sure, yeah. I think it's, especially now with the American government, what do you guys think about the removal of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion? Because I do think that that has changed my opinion a little bit on what American society values.
I think that DEI is definitely like, it's a good thing to have because it levels the playing field that for like so long in history just hasn't been even. And I think like, especially because I want to go into STEM and that's a field that not many Latino women like are in, and it's a very like small group. So I feel like just taking away the things that help even out like the playing field for everyone just doesn't like, makes it feel different.
Yeah, for sure. Any comments?
Well, it's pretty difficult question, but America was trying to like spread that mind of DEI, but now they are trying to like stop that thing. It could reduce the amount of people who feel comfortable to live in the US. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's all the time we have today. Thank you guys so much for coming out. This was Beyond Borders, a Youth Talks podcast.